years now since the new year, and it's all because there was a television show which dramatised the events of this scandal, which has brought it back to the public consciousness, if you like. So first of all, let me tell you about the post office in general. So the post office is very, very, very old in itself, so its roots were founded, if you like, back in 1516 by King Henry VIII. So he established a role called Master of the Post. Master of the Post. And it was renamed Postmaster General in 1710. So this scandal, it has rumbled for many, many, many years. And yet it is suddenly dominating UK politics. Here's some information on the saga of this scandal and the Horizon IT system that they used, which caused all of the problems. So this scandal has been described without exaggeration by our current Prime Minister, who is Rishi Sunak. And he described this as one of the greatest miscarriages of justice in United Kingdom's history. And this is the hounding and prosecution of thousands of people who owned and ran smaller post offices for alleged fraud between 1999 and 2015. The overwhelming majority of these people were falsely accused. So the initial fault was with Horizon. Now, Horizon is a digital accounting system installed by IT multinational Fujitsu, a company called Fujitsu. And this wrongly said that post office branches had cash shortfalls in their post offices. This was then compounded by the post office. The company behind the network, which rejected any fault with Horizon and insisted that these sub-post masters or sub-post mistresses, which operated a post office almost as a franchise, that said that they must have taken the money to the extent of covering up the real problem, which was, of course, Horizon itself. So these people were blamed for their cash shortfalls in their small businesses, their franchises, in these towns and villages throughout England, Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland. Overall, 3,500 branch owner-operators, which, as I say, is also known as a sub-postmaster, were wrongly accused, and more than 900 were prosecuted, with many jailed and ruined. Some suffered significant health problems because of this. They were ostracised by local communities. They had family breakups, divorces, and in some cases there were suicides. So this dramatically turned their lives upside down and was horrific. Now, I watched this drama show which aired on New Year's Day on ITV, which is one of the TV stations here in the United Kingdom, and it really brought to life how this whole thing unfolded, and it was dramatically hard to watch. It was very difficult to watch, and the actors who portrayed some of the postmasters impacted by this played a superb role. There was Toby Jones, who played Alan Bates, one of the leading postmasters, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So these people, these sub-postmasters, were in the traditional job description. Sub-postmasters and sub-postmistresses who owned and ran smaller post offices as franchises. While they were independent, while often owning the building where the business was based, they were part of the wider post office system, which handles not only letters and parcels, but services including banking, bill payments, money transfers and application for documents. The post office, which has about 11,500 branches across the United Kingdom, was formerly part of Royal Mail, but was split off in 2012 when the mail service was privatised. What is striking is how did this injustice last for 20 years? Well, this is one of the big questions for a public inquiry into the scandal which began in 2021 and is still here in evidence today. But the main driver is a seemingly toxic and secretive management culture in the post office, with the victims marginalised, dismissed and disbelieved. Numerous owner-operators accused of theft were told they were the only people facing these IT difficulties, only to find out later that there were hundreds of others who had been similarly targeted, and some of them had been wrongly targeted, raised the alarm. Notably, Alan Bates, who was a post office operator accused of stealing thousands of pounds from his branch, who then set up process of clearing those affected have been very, very, very slow. And by December, 142 case reviews have been completed out of the 900 plus of people convicted. And that's when Mr. Bates versus the Post Office, which was the 4-part drama which was broadcast on ITV just after New Year, which is our UK commercial TV station. It powerfully brought home the human consequences of the drama and bringing an immediate reaction from the public, the media and politicians. In response to this drama, less than a week after the final episode had aired, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak announced an unprecedented plan to pass a law that would overturn the convictions of all those who were accused by Horizon-related fraud or theft, and offer them a swift compensation. Whether that is an agreed sum of up to £600,000 or an amount to be agreed. This plan is to be completed by summer 2024. But this is not the end of the story, because some politicians have connected this scandal. They face calls to apologise, and there are suggestions that Fujitsu should cover the costs of compensation. All of this is likely to wait until the public inquiry reaches its conclusions, as a date yet unknown. The Post Office itself is now under criminal investigations over potential fraud offences. So this is huge, because the Post Office was a very warm and fluffy institution. It had that trust, and this trust has been completely shredded by what's happened to these everyday people, which could have been me. I once considered looking after a post office in Holy Island, which is not far from where I live, and to think that I would have been caught up in this doesn't bear thinking about for me, but a lot of people were connected. But Paula Venables, the former post office chief executive, has already said that she would return the CPA honour that she received from the government. Quite rightly so. Some MPs from Rishi Sunak's Conservative Party have focused criticism on Ed Davey, calling him to quit as leader of the smaller opposition Liberal Democrats, for they say not taking the scandal seriously when he was the business minister responsible for the post office in 2010 to 2012. And the Liberal Democrats themselves call this partisan and unfair. So that's where we are at the moment. So Paula Venables handed her CPE back, but some people feel that is not enough, and there should be some real accountability for these crimes, because that's what they are, crimes. This was a massive cover-up from a trusted institution, and the persecution and prosecution of these people, these everyday people, were wrongful, and the impact, the human impact of this scandal is astronomical. So we will wait and find out what is going to happen in the next few weeks and months. In the meantime, this story is highly recommended if uncomfortable viewing on one of the greatest scandals in the United Kingdom in recent history. This is Whispering Storyteller, and I hope you've enjoyed this little chat about something which is on everyone's mind in the UK at the moment. If you like this kind of content, or you like to relax and listen, why not consider subscribing? It really helps me to bring the content